Howdy ho, Internet people. Before we get started with this episode, I wanted to do something a little special to put everybody in a scary mood. So I've got the instruction manual for the game. So let's take a glance at that right now. So first off, here we've got the cover art. You see the front door is heavily locked and there can be no passage. That's a theme of the game's plot. And then of course you've got a screaming head. Kinda looks like that one picture of Doug Walker. And of course you've got the seizure warning, as is standard with instruction manuals. This game will literally kill you. And what could be scarier than that? Happy Halloween! Table of contents. There you've got a guy who looks like that one rage face that goes, okay. And in case you forgot what a PS2 looks like, there's a nice diagram reminding you. It was 2 years ago that Harry Townsend moved into room 302 of South Ashfield Heights, an apartment building in the medium-sized city of Ashfield. Harry was happy and enjoying his new life. But 5 days ago, something strange began to happen. A recurring dream began to haunt him, and there was one other thing. Henry is a calm young man who never lets his feelings show. By the time the story begins, he has been locked in his room for 5 straight days. Suddenly, a large hole appears in his bathroom wall with no reason or warning, and he is dragged off into the depths of terror. Eileen is Henry's next-door neighbor, the young resident of room 303. She has a kind personality, although she has the tendency to depend too heavily on others at times. The relationship between Eileen and Henry is nothing more than the simple recognition of one another, but they are both dragged into a strange set of events that will change everything. Boxy Boy will show everyone a phrase, and then the 2 participating players will rap along. Player 1 will be Parappa, and Player 2 will be the teacher, or you can select Player 2 to be the computer. Each player will receive 500 points at the beginning of the song. After each round, the better rapper is awarded points, which are taken away from the opponent's points. The winner is the player with the highest score at the end of the song. If either player's score reaches 0, the other player receives an automatic win. Okay, and with that, let's start the episode. Alright, let's do this. Silent Hill 4. Even though the location of Silent Hill never actually comes up in the game. Guitars that are being played out of tune are very scary. You know, when I first played this, I wasn't sure if that was just the emulator screwing up or if that was intentional, poorly played music because, creepy, So yes, just like I read in the instruction manual, perhaps that was a bit redundant, but it was 2 years ago, again, that Harry Townsend? Anyway, 5 days ago, something strange happened. He couldn't leave room 302. So, the game starts out in first person, but don't be fooled. Don't be fooled, viewer. It's not like that for the whole game. Only when he's in his apartment. It's done for artistic effect. That's one of the less pronounced aspects of Silent Hill, is the artsiness of it. And that wasn't some dumbass edit from me, that was actually part of the game. For no reason, they put in like a Hollywood stock scream sound effect at just some random point. Just They wanted to remind you that this is supposed to be scary. In darker scenes, since there's a glare on my laptop screen, I literally can't see anything other than my own reflection. And what could be scarier than that? God, look at this place. It's like Chris Chan's house. Ooh, it looks like a face. I don't know if they ever made you read The Yellow Wallpaper in school, but that had a very similar premise with the faces and human figures in the wall. It was very scary for something that came out in the 1800s, especially if you had a copy of the book with that old book smell. Oh, look out, viewer, a scary is coming. Harry Townsend needs a moment to absorb that one. Mr. Skeltel hasn't been funny since like 2014. Who would even think of such a thing? But in all seriousness though, as any Silent Hill fan will tell you, all of the monsters have some kind of special symbolic meaning. And well, truthfully, I don't know the meaning of that one if I had to guess. I would say maybe that's some kind of parallel to the situation that he's in. That monster appeared to be escaping through the walls of the apartment, which is what Harry is trying to do. Perhaps he can dial for help? He just seems to be hitting the 5 key over and over again. You don't want to put a real phone number in Silent Hill 4, the room for PS2 after all. What was that one quote from that cartoonist who was pissed off about phone numbers in TV and all the stupid idiots want to call Elmo? That's out there somewhere. How can the phone be ringing? We tried just then, and it didn't go anyplace. It's the classic horror cliche of the phone was disconnected the whole time. How would they do this in modern times now that traditional phones don't quite exist? Would they just have like a, oh, I couldn't get a signal, oh. Come to think of it, I do think there was a horror movie sometime in the 2010s that was built around that concept. The idea of a cell phone-based horror... fucking oats in my throat. Anyway, a cell phone-based horror. The commercials had like a woman and that's not my ringtone, and there's a monster, and it's very ripe for parody because the part with the that's not my ringtone, you could very easily swap out the music with something silly. You could put like Chocolate Rain on there or something. And so, once again, they need to show us that the main character is locked in the apartment. That is definitely going to be a central theme in this game, the inability to leave. Makes for very good material if you're an unfunny Let's Player in the year 2020 and you could make a COVID lockdown jokes. You want some real good COVID lockdown jokes? Go watch a stupid Mario Quarantine. Yeah. So there's the neighbor lady, Eileen, by the way. I don't think she can see us through the peephole, though. Our main character is what they would call in literary class an unreliable narrator. Because like in every Silent Hill game, he's slowly going insane. And here's the storage chest, so we can go to the other dimension from that episode of Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. We can look out the window. We can't go out there and explore the world, but we can at least gaze upon it. Whoa, that guy's got some place to be. Anyway, you're probably wondering what's the significance of this stretching woman standing by the subway entrance, and well, you will soon see, viewer. Just know that Harry the Insane Man now has that image in his mind. What was that over there? And before we go check out that strange noise, this thing caught my eye. It's deliberately designed to be a light item in a dark room, so it could catch the player's eye. This kind of looks like the stuff that I'd overhear when my parents would drag me to church as a small boy. They always loved to read Silent Hill 4 lore at church. I never did quite understand it. But anyway, let's go investigate the mysterious noise. Oh my god, I can't wait to eat this watermelon. I just hope that mysterious thing doesn't happen again. Classic reference. Oh my, what's this? A hole in the wall. Next thing you know, Nick Cannon's gonna pop out and say, "Show us the hole in the wall."
Somebody in there?
Remember that? Remember when Nick Cannon was the host of a game show in which fat people in jumpsuits would try to climb through human-shaped holes and people would cheer them on, as is standard in game shows? Why does anybody watch TV anymore? Good lord. Okay, and here's our first weapon, by the way. If you've ever played a Silent Hill game before, though, you know that the weapons are more of a formality. They've got an unusual design choice where you're really just supposed to run away from the enemies instead of fighting them. Because if you try to fight them, you'll lose half your health even if you do everything correctly. They wanted to make it scary by making enemies that couldn't easily be defeated. So, since we're going to be stuck in this claustrophobic tunnel for a time, now might be the right time to briefly touch upon the history of the Silent Hill franchise and how this game fits in. You see, Silent Hill 4 is a bit of an anomaly in that it wasn't even supposed to be a Silent Hill game. It was going to be a completely independent and new property, but Konami intervened and made them turn it into Silent Hill, which is why the main character never visits the town of Silent Hill at any point in the game. Sort of the same situation as what Nintendo did with Star Fox Adventures. Ignore those prompts in the corner of the screen. This is definitely on a real PS2 and not on an Xbox Series X. You could argue that's more interesting that I'm playing it on an Xbox Series X. Anywho, look at this big old escalator. He's going to escalator land like that episode of the Fairly Odd Parents. When do we get to the ride? This is the ride. Yippee! That's basically the only thing I remember from that show. You know, maybe it's just the camera angle, but the escalator almost looks like it's a straight vertical drop in this shot. Perhaps there's some symbolism there. There's lots of symbolism in Silent Hill. Anyway, we finally get to actually start the game in some capacity. And look over there, it's the stretching woman from the subway entrance. Remember how I said that it's important that Harry had the image of the stretching woman in his mind, and now here she is in his wackadoodle hallucination.
Henry. And you?
This is my dream, and you don't even know my name. It's Cynthia.
Your dream.
That's right. This is just a dream.
It was all a dream.
One too. I hope I wake up soon.
So you think this is a dream, huh?
Well, if it's not a dream, what is it? Anyway, I want to get out of here, but I can't find the exit. Say, Will you help me find it? I'm kinda scared all alone. I'll do a special favor for you later. It's just a dream, so I might as well have some fun.